Hey, it's Kate here from Westwood Management. We're about to head into a season of Spotify Wrapped. So this is a period of time in the year where Spotify releases a whole bunch of numbers and statistics. That's quite smart on their behalf, that we can then share with our friends and our followers about our listening habits from the year. So as a user within Spotify, I can actually say, oh, I've listened to this many songs. These are my favorite artists, and I'll share about it. But as an artist, as a band, as a label, it's a great way to thank our fans across the year for the amount of hours that they listen, the playlists that we were added. It even shows us kind of like our top fans and things like that. And so really interesting, but also polarizing moment in music history in this digital age. And so let's chat about Spotify Wrapped for 2022. So no matter how you feel about it, let's talk about some practicalities about what you can do within Spotify Wrapped to get ready for it. So over at Westwood Management, Instagram, Facebook, one of my interns, Dana, put together a great post. I'm just going to read off that. She talks about there are a couple of things you can do to get ready for Spotify Wrapped. The first one is to record that brand new thing that we can do is a vertical 9:16 30-second thank you message for your fans. You upload it to your Spotify for Artists account, so you definitely need to register for that if you haven't already. And it's hey, it's Kate here. Thanks so much for listening to my music. It's meant so much to me. You're the best, whatever you want to say in that space. And so that's a video that gets sent out to those who have listened to you in the year. Another thing you can do is to link your upcoming shows using Songkick or Bands in Town and make sure that you've updated any new shows that you've got so that can connect with your Spotify for Artists account. You can also use the fan support link to add your PayPal me or a charity donation opportunity within your fundraising pick. And you can also update your artist bio and your images. This is really important. If you haven't done that in a while, just go in and make sure your Instagram and your Facebook are linked correctly, that you've got a fresh, interesting, vibrant bio, and that you've got some new photos. If you haven't updated in the last 6 months, pop some new photos in there, change your profile photo or your banner image to be consistent across your platforms. Another thing that you can do is to create a playlist full of your favorite songs, which also will include your songs in there, and add that to your artist pick at the top of your profile so that you can have a lot of things. We're utilizing all the spaces that Spotify makes available for us. And another thing you can do is to get verified on Musixmatch. This is kind of new, not many people know about it, but this is where you can add your lyrics to your songs. So when people pull it up on their phone, they can actually see the lyrics to your songs, but you have to do that via Musixmatch. So all of these things and all this information, you want to do that by the 18th of November. So if you've missed out and you're watching this a bit later, hey, don't worry, you can get it ready for next year. And I'm sure there'll be updates for that anyway. Those things that you can do there are valuable whether or not you are in time for Spotify Wrapped for 2022. And then once Spotify Wrapped comes out, you want to take some screenshots of or download a couple of the stats that stand out to you. So every year they do it a little bit differently, but maybe there's a number of hours of streaming or a number of people that have listened or a number of streams totally that you've received. And this is a great way to do a couple of appreciation posts. I would encourage you to obviously talk about the numbers, but make it about the people. Not go, woohoo, look how great I am. I got 30,000 streams. I'm wow, amazing. But actually refer it back to the fact that each one of those streams was from a person who took the time to listen. So make a big fuss about your fans, thank them, engage with them, and make sure you ask a couple of questions. So whenever all that happens, we'll be seeing it, and you might get a little bit jaded. So we've talked about the practicalities of getting ready for it, but how do we deal with it in our hearts and in this space of comparison and competition? Now, I don't think in the indie music realm there's a lot of that happening, but we can really feel imposter syndrome. We can really feel overwhelmed by the fact that other people have had better numbers, and maybe people who've released similar amounts to us have had more streams or more listeners. We can really struggle with that place of comparison. And the thing about comparison is there's a great quote that says it's the thief of joy. So you can feel really amazing about your numbers and share it out there. And then 2 seconds later, look at somebody else's numbers and feel really robbed of what you were excited about just because they've apparently done better than you. And so this is one of the negative sides of this Spotify Wrapped, is it gets us to focus on numbers. It gets us to compare ourselves, and we get stuck in the stats rather than in the relationship with the people. And I think it's a fallacy of Spotify of telling us that we need to bow at the altar of Spotify, and that Spotify is the one metric in which we measure our value and in which we measure the importance of our work, and also how other people value our work. And the reality is it's not true. So I want you to be able to shake it off. And if you choose not to engage, just don't engage. Instead, take a moment to thank your followers, to engage with them, to send some DMs, to send a couple of emails, to just share the love and connect one-on-one with your fans and your super fans without the numbers. You don't have to do Spotify Wrapped, but it is a good thing in the area of social proof. And if you're not sure what social proof is, it is using the example of 2 restaurants side by side. One restaurant is full and there's a line out the front, and the other restaurant is half empty. Now, in our mind, social proof says the full restaurant must be better. I'm going to go and line up for half an hour rather than going straight in to the other restaurant. Social proof tells us that because something looks good, it must be doing better than something else. But it's not always true. That restaurant may not necessarily be a better restaurant. Maybe they just had a big booking, or they've got small, not many seats. Who knows? And so, although social proof isn't always, very rarely actually, connected to our goals and actually achieving our the things that we want to achieve, but it looks good and it gives confidence to your fans and your followers. You want them to feel confident. You want them to feel like, oh, something is happening with you, so that they stick around and stay involved. And so social proof is important. And so we need to talk about when we get, when we're having a show, when we've got some feedback, when we get a review, when we've got a new song out, or when we've had a certain amount of streams or engagement with our music. Social proof is really important, again, because it gives confidence to those who are following you in you. It builds their confidence. But it's not everything, because again, it does very rarely has equals more sales. Like a PR publication writing about you may not equal more tickets to your show or more streams. And that's the danger of relying on Spotify Wrapped to do the work for you. It will not do the work for you, neither will Spotify, because you could have 5,000 listeners, but only, 300 or 400 followers on Instagram. You could only have 20 people on your email list. It doesn't necessarily correlate with growth in those other areas. So I do want to give you a bit of an all-round view on Spotify Wrapped. It's a great way to kind of get a snapshot of what your year's been like, but it's only one metric and it's not the most important metric. And if you do feel yourself getting caught up in the comparison, if you feel yourself losing your joy, I want you to step back, turn your phone off for a couple of days and just connect one-on-one with those around you. Remind yourself of your goals and your purpose for your career. And when you feel those moments coming in, to say, you know what, that's not what's important. That's not what's valuable. That's not how I measure my worth in the numbers from Spotify Wrapped. All right, that's my thoughts on that. Have fun though, enjoy it, engage with it, and celebrate with your fans. Make sure, and my final point, and just reiterating myself, is to engage and thank them for their support, because it's not just in the numbers on Spotify, it's the people coming to the shows, it's the merch being purchased, and you want to build that engagement, ask some questions, get them involved, and share their numbers and who their favorite artist was from this year, that kind of thing. And then you can lead them into your Christmas sales and your Black Friday promotions, all those kind of things. All right, have a great day, and I will chat to you soon, and we'll see. I feel like my biggest listen is going to be kids' music, because whenever I'm babysitting my nephews, we always put VeggieTales on, or Colin Buchanan and Wiggles. And so I don't know if it's going to be a good representation of the music that I actually like. But anyway, I'm going to catch you soon. Oh, and remember to subscribe, and also to, if you have any questions or you want to chat about your music career, make sure you grab one of the freebies below, check out my website, or book a free chat with me. I'd love to connect with you. Bye.